Good morning. And welcome to Unity of Palmyra, where centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. We are an open and affirming community. We love you exactly as you are in all of your magnificent glory. And in continuing with our very non-traditional Advent, today we are going to celebrate Hanukkah. You will probably be smelling the brisket throughout the service this morning. So please do plan on joining us afterwards for a traditional Hanukkah meal. Last week we had a fantastic time with the Diwali food. Oh my gosh, wasn't that amazing? I love trying all the different flavors and of course, food. So let's take a moment to just become centered and present as we prepare to celebrate the Festival of Lights, the Festival of Dedication. And so for just this sweet, small time in our week, we let go of what was and what will be. We let go of the lists and the decorating and the wrapping. And we give ourselves the gift of being fully present right here, right now. For here and now is where we fully experience the gifts of Advent. Peace and faith and hope and joy and love. They all exist right now. We simply need to open our hearts and our minds to accept them and experience them. And so we take a nice big deep collective breath. And as we exhale, we are here now. And as always, we enter into this experience with gratitude as we say thank you for this time to come apart for a while, to remember the truth of who we are, to remember that we are spiritual beings having an incredibly interesting human experience. And then we say thank you for whatever safe space you are in this morning, whether you are celebrating with us in person or you are engaging with us online. We are grateful. And finally, we say thank you for one another, for the love, the compassion, the generosity of this beloved community. We are so very grateful. And so it is. Amen. Let's stand and sing.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exaltation. Oh, sing, all ye citizens of heaven above. Glory to God, glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Yea, Lord, we greet thee, born this happy morning. Jesus, to thee be all glory. Word of the Father, now in flesh appearing. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
Oh, that was beautiful. Let's share together in our vision. Centered in love, we embrace a positive path for spiritual living. And our mission, wherever we go, even searching out an extra brisket at 10 o'clock last night for a friend. We provide a welcoming community that inspires and encourages all who gather here through the teaching, sharing, and practice of universal spiritual principles. And one of the ways that we honor our practice and our principles is to respect wherever you are on your hugging journey. So if you would like a hug, we will bring it on in. If you're more comfortable with the handshake, we will honor that. And if you want us to leave you completely alone, trust me, we totally understand that. And we will honor whatever bubble that you create around yourself this morning. Have a great time. got to sing it all over again now
All
that
right.
they're back.
The
yeah.
whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
3, 4.
And I expect
1,
to see
2.
dancing in the aisles, all right? Come on, let's get into the spirit of this. Right, no, we're singing it again because you guys were all visiting while we were singing. You got to get into the spirit. Ready?
Yep. Ready.
Go for it.
I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. Oh dreidel, 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 then dreidel I shall play. It has a lovely body with legs so short and thin. When it gets all tired, it drops and then I win. Dreidel, 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 with legs so short and thin. Oh, dreidel, 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 it drops and then I win. Here we go. My dreidel's always playful, it loves to dance and spin. A happy game of dreidel, come play now, let's begin. Oh, dreidel, 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 it loves to dance and spin. Oh, dreidel, 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 come play now, let's begin. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, then dreidel I shall play. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay. Oh, dreidel, 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 then dreidel I shall play. Woo!
Have a seat. Don't you just love a whole bunch of Christian type folks singing dreidel? I love it. I love it. I hope we did it service. So when you go downstairs today for fellowship, you will notice part of your centerpiece, there's some gelt. It's wrapped in blue and silver paper. It is chocolate, so please feel free to eat it. There should be one per person at each table. And there are also some dreidels, so you can spin the dreidel during fellowship. We had a lot of fun with this one, the decorating team. All right, so a couple of other announcements. Our prayer chaplains for today are Helen Baker and Linda Longenecker, and they are back in the back pew crew, and they will be holding sacred space for you during the service and then over here. We're going to do something a little different. The prayer chaplains in their meeting last week had a great idea. They said, would it be okay if when we go downstairs for fellowship that one of the prayer chaplains says a short blessing before we start? I said, that's awesome. So what they're going to do after the service is one of the prayer chaplains will come over here, and you can pray with them if you need to. And then the second prayer chaplain will go downstairs, and you can pray with them if you would like to, right up until the point where they say the blessing. And Linda Longenecker is going to be saying the blessing today, and she actually found a Hanukkah blessing for us. So that's going to be awesome. So that'll be a new thing that we're doing. And the fellowship team has also asked, especially on the Sundays where we have like a full meal like this entire month, let's do what we did last week. Let's go downstairs, sit down so that the fellowship team can kind of get themselves organized, and then we'll dismiss the tables to go eat. We do have a rich, full menu today, and I'm very excited about the brisket I've been smelling at home. Okay. So 2 things end today. The angel tree, if you did take an angel tag, please make sure that it gets back to us. I would say if you forgot it today, no later than Tuesday, Joanne and I are meeting with my band on Tuesday, and we're going to run the rest of the stuff over to the Salvation Army. Opera Fudge also ends today, and Gwen couldn't be here this morning, so Joanne's doing double duty as she holds up the envelope there. If you have Opera Fudge orders and money, please do give those to Joanne. So this Saturday is our Holiday Happy Hour Coffee House. We're extremely excited about it. It's our entire music team doing Christmas favorites. Ken and I are providing the food and the happy for that. So it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful evening. And it's 5 to 7. So you can come to that and enjoy yourself and then go to another party if you want to. Or go home and make whatever it is that you're making for the next day for fellowship. And it's going to be great. We do have that poster on our Facebook page. So please do go on. In fact, I'll reshare it again when I get home today. Please do share that on your Facebook page and invite friends. It's going to be a wonderful, very festive evening. And then the follow-up soul collage workshop is going to be on December 17th after the service. So that will be actually upstairs in the conference room area this time. We're actually hosting a birthday party downstairs, which is very fun. So I think that's it. I'm looking around to see if I forgot anything. Got it? All right. Miss Becky, would you read the reading for today?
Sure thing. Good morning and happy Hanukkah. Hanukkah, A Story of Faith by Amy Farkas. The Hanukkah story takes place in ancient Israel during the Second Temple era, when the Jewish homeland was controlled by Greek monarchs who vied for power after the glory days of Alexander the Great. The Greeks' encounter with the Jewish people was like no other. In a society founded on pagan beliefs and practices, the Jews' worship of and belief in the one God was foreign, strange, and unacceptable to the Greeks. Yet, unlike Haman from the Purim story, the Greeks didn't seek to annihilate the Jewish people, nor did they seek to remove us from our land. Rather, it was our belief in God and our unique service of His will that they sought to erase from our national memory. During their occupation of Israel, the Greeks banned the practice of Judaism as well as the study of Torah. They also erected an idol of Zeus in the Holy Temple and sacrificed pigs on its altar. If the Jews of that time agreed to relinquish their faith, the Greeks would have embraced them, at least initially, and would have welcomed them into their culture and society. But the Jewish spirit refused to remain silent. A small and rebellious group of priests who were used to the pious temple life and were not hardened military warriors began an uprising which miraculously succeeded in overcoming the Greek army and restoring the temple. But this miraculous military victory over the Greeks is not the only reason we celebrate Hanukkah. Jews have fought and won battles against enemies far larger and better equipped, and we do not celebrate each of these successes with a holiday. The reason we celebrate Hanukkah is due to the spiritual battle between secular culture and faith, symbolized by the candles we light each night. The pagan religion the Greeks were bound to no longer exist, but it emphasizes on external power, competitiveness, and materialism is just as prevalent today as it was back then. And so how do we win this battle against forces seemingly greater than ourselves? I believe the answer is found in the Hanukkah menorah. Each night, we light a candle, adding one additional candle for 8 nights, and that's it. In fact, it is the easiest Jewish holiday to celebrate, to keep. All you need are candles and a book of matches, and you're set. And that is exactly the point. How do we hold to our morals and our beliefs while confronting the tsunami of materialism, corruption, and a breakdown of institutions we once held to high esteem? By small, faith-driven acts of kindness, prayer, and uplifting interactions with friends and family. Like a lighthouse showing the way back to shore on a stormy night, the Hanukkah menorah lights our path through the sometimes dark world, reminding us of the power of our God and our faith in Him.
I am home, my family is here. I feel loved by the ones I hold so dear. And when my family needs me, I promise to be there. And when I need my family, I'm lifted up in prayer.
So this is the time of our service where we consciously enter into that attitude, that energy of prayer. Prayer being the alignment of body, mind, and spirit. And so we take a nice big deep breath. Remembering that the act of breathing itself can be a prayer. Every breath can remind us of the truth of who we are. Every breath can remind us that there is only this now moment. Every breath reminds us that we are all breathing the same air, reminding us of our incredible connection to one another. And so with our next breath, we become still. As we honor the simplicity of this holiday. As with the other celebrations that we are remembering and honoring this Advent, it reminds us of the importance of shining our light. Of being the light. Of not fearing the darkness, but embracing it and dispelling it by shining ever brighter. And so if there was anyone who is hearing this right now, if you are experiencing a challenge or sadness or loss, if you are in need of healing, we surround you with the light of this community, with the love, compassion, courage, strength, and wisdom of this community. We see your joy returning. We see your flame rekindling as your true nature shines through. And if anyone hearing this is experiencing joy or gratitude, we say, share it with us. Spread that energy like glitter through that golden web that connects us all. Safe, biodegradable glitter. For we know that when our troubles are shared, they are divided. And when our joy is shared, it is multiplied. And therein lies the power and the beauty of community. And as always, we remember that together or apart, we are forever connected at the heart. And so it is. Namaste.
The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. Namaste. You are beautiful. You are whole. You are beautiful. You are whole. as twilight greets the setting sun. Light the candles one by one. Remember the past, traditions that last forever. Come, come, let's celebrate the joy of Hanukkah. May our friendship grow as the candles glow. Oh, won't you come and share the joy of Hanukkah? And we'll celebrate as only friends can do. Happy Hanukkah, my friend, from me to you. Candlelight or star above, messages of peace and love. Their meaning is clear. We all were put here as brothers. So let's begin with you and me. Let friendship be eternally. May this holiday enlighten the way for others. Come, let's share the joy of Hanukkah. May our friendship grow as those candles glow. Oh, won't you come and share the joy of Hanukkah? And we're hoping all you wish for comes true. Happy Hanukkah, my friend, from me to you. Oh, happy Hanukkah, my friend, from me to you.
That was beautiful. We light this candle for peace. We light this candle for faith. So a little bit more about the history of Hanukkah. You are going to be getting another handout today at the end of the service, but I also found a pretty good description from a site called reformjudaism.org, and I'm just going to share it with you. It says, unlike many Jewish holidays, Hanukkah, also known as the Festival of Lights, is not mentioned in the Bible. Now, I will say that's incorrect. Do you know where Hanukkah is mentioned in the Bible? In the New Testament, in the Christian scriptures. There's a story about Jesus had to return to go to the festival of dedication. That's Hanukkah. Isn't that interesting? I remember one time at a previous church that I was leading on Christmas Eve, we had been talking about the fact that Jesus was Jewish, born Jewish, lived Jewish, died Jewish. and that he would have been celebrating Hanukkah at that time of year. So we celebrated Hanukkah on Christmas Eve. It was awesome. We still did the candle lighting, though, and we still sang the Christmas carols. But yes, to remember the Jewishness of our brother and way shower. So they said the historical events upon which the celebration is based are recorded in Maccabees 1 and 2, two books contained within a later collection of writings known as the Apocrypha. Those were the writings that they did not want to include in the text. In the year 168 BCE, the Syrian king Antiochus Epiphanes sent his soldiers to Jerusalem. The Syrians desecrated the temple, the holiest place for Jews at that time. Antiochus also abolished Judaism, outlawing the observance of Shabbat, which is the Sabbath, and the festivals, as well as circumcision. Altars and idols were set up for the worship of Greek gods, and he offered Jews two options, conversion or death. And didn't want to put this in the handout, but the deaths were not pretty. On the 25th day of the Hebrew month of Kislev in 168 BCE, the temple was renamed for the Greek god Zeus. I think that was the proverbial last straw. A Jewish resistance movement led by a priestly family known as the Hasmoneans or the Maccabees developed, resisting the cruelty of Antiochus. The head of the family was Mattathias, an elderly man. His son Judah became the chief strategist and military leader of the resistance. Though outnumbered, Judah Maccabee and his fighters miraculously won two major battles, routing the Syrians decisively. And there are movies made about it. It was awesome. Although historians debate the causes and outcomes of the war in which Judah Maccabee and his followers defeated the Syrian armies of Antiochus, there is no doubt that Hanukkah evokes stirring images of Jewish valor against overwhelming odds. Other themes of the holiday include the refusal to submit to the religious demands of an empire practicing idolatry, the struggle against total assimilation into Greek culture and the loss of Jewish identity, and the fight for Jewish political autonomy and self-determination. It was really interesting in another piece that I read as I was researching for today. The author made a really interesting and kind of startling observation when they said, if the Greeks had succeeded, if they had wiped out Judaism, there would be no Christianity or Islam. Isn't that food for thought? Judaism, Christianity, and Islam are referred to as the people of the book because we all come from Abraham. We all come from that early Jewish dynasty. So if the Greeks had succeeded, there would be no Jesus Christ, there would be no Muhammad, there would be none of those hugely major faith traditions in the world. I had never thought of that before. Hanukkah, which means dedication, is the festival that commemorates the purification and rededication of the temple following the Greek occupation of that holy place. Today, the holiday reminds Jews to rededicate themselves to keeping alive the flame of Jewish religion, culture, and peoplehood so that it may be passed on to the next generation. And then they talked about the miracle of the oil, which I think is interesting because kind of like some of our stories that are passed down over time, it wasn't originally part of it. If you've taken the meeting Jesus again or reading the Bible again for the first time, we really became clear that so many of the stories that we celebrate, for instance, the Nativity, the whole Nativity story, was really concocted hundreds of years after the fact. So they said originally the 8-day holiday was intended to parallel the 8-day festival of Sukkot. The books of the Maccabees made no mention of the legend concerning a small jar of oil that unexpectedly lasted for 8 days. Only centuries after the Maccabees' defeat of the Syrians did the story of the jar of oil, which has come to be associated with Hanukkah, appear in the Talmud. According to the legend, when the Maccabees entered the temple and began to reclaim it from the Greeks, they immediately relit the Ner Tamid, which burned constantly in the temple and has a parallel in our synagogues to this day. In the temple, they found a single jar of oil, which was sufficient for only one day. The messenger who was sent to secure additional oil took 8 days to complete his mission, and miraculously, that single jar of oil continued to burn until his return. The rabbis of the Talmud attributed the 8 days of Hanukkah to the miracle of this single jar of oil, according to the legend. So, what does the study and celebration of Hanukkah teach us? I know you're picking up already that there's a theme for these holidays that we've chosen, and that is the theme of shining light into the darkness. It's a story of faith and overcoming incredible odds. At times, the lighting of the menorah was actually an act of defiance. During World War II, during the Nazi occupation of Europe, obviously being Jewish was not a good thing. And yet, even during that time, they secreted away menorahs. Even in the concentration camps, they found a way to make, out of whatever they could find, menorahs and burn them, fighting up against overwhelming odds. The other thing I love about Hanukkah is it's relatively easy to honor the holiday. You need a menorah, and you need a lighter or a book of matches, right? All the extraneous stuff that surrounds Hanukkah has just become part of our very Western Americanized culture. But really, all you need to celebrate it is that, the menorah and a lighter. It's simple. It's easy. It reminds us of how hard we tend to make life and how simple and easy it can be. So lighting the candles does involve prayers. It's also interesting and it always falls at some point over a Sabbath or the Shabbat, because you're not allowed to work during the Sabbath. You have to make sure you light the candles before the Sabbath hits, and then you can't blow them out until afterwards, because you're not allowed to work over the Sabbath. The other thing that's really interesting about the menorah, you notice that there are actually 9 candles, and that middle candle is a little bit higher. So that little candle is called the shamash. And the way it works is you light the shamash, and then the shamash lights all the other candles. The shamash is called the helper or the servant candle. And it's important because all the other candles of the menorah, and I love this, are not allowed to be helpful. Only the shamash can be helpful. The rest of the candles of the menorah are simply to be seen. We are simply meant to watch them, to look at them, to be absorbed by their light. According to Rabbi Shimon Apostor, the prayer is, for all of the 8 nights of Hanukkah, these lights are holy. We are not permitted to use them, rather only to look at them. He continues, the only thing you are allowed to do with the lights of the menorah is to see them. On the surface, this doesn't seem very demanding, but really the idea is phenomenally deep. Our relationship to the menorah is one of looking and seeing. We see the flames, and they are far more than they appear to be. They aren't merely candles, they are beacons. They call out to us to turn aside from everything else and to see what is really there. Holiness, transcendence, spirituality, and godliness can be present even in a little flame. The Hanukkah flame can't be used for anything. It can't help us do anything but see. The rabbi concludes by saying, on Hanukkah, all we do is look. And if we look, we will see, and if we see, we will be lifted, inspired, and will discover that there is so much more to life than we ever realized. So the shamash has the role of doing the work, of lighting the other candles, of being the light that lights others. Isn't that awesome? Don't you want to be the shamash? Think of it. The shamash lights others' light. It spreads the light. It's there to help others see their light. By lighting the other candles, it dispels the darkness. So when we look at the menorah, what do we see? Yes, there's darkness. That's a given. It's physical reality, there's darkness. But when we see the darkness, what do we do about it? Do we succumb to it? Do we throw up our hands in despair? Do we say, there's nothing I can do? Or do we shine our light? Do we shine our light into the darkness? I had a great little conversation. I was going into Giant on Tuesday to get some medication for Ken, and I noticed an elderly man, well, older than me, so he's elderly. That word has just taken on a whole new meaning in our lives. Anyway, he was so dear, and he was struggling to get his shirt on, and I said, are you okay? He said, oh yeah, I just got my vaccines, and it's harder to get my shirt on than it used to be. And so we just started chatting, and we were listening to a Christmas song, and both of us were trying to figure out who was singing it. And so like these two complete strangers were sitting there going, okay, who is this? Is it Dean Martin? No, it's not. Was it Tony Bennett? No, it's not Tony Bennett. And we both started to laugh, and he said, we're going to wake up at 4 a.m. remembering who this was. And I said, I am right there with you, man. I'm going to be right there. So I said, wasn't there a Perry somebody? Elderly really is starting to resonate. And so we go over to the pharmacist and we say, do you know who is singing this song? So now we have three strangers, right? Trying to figure out. And I said, wasn't there so first of all, she pulls out this cool app on her phone that you just listens and it tells you what it is. But we just caught the end of it. She said, oh, darn, I couldn't catch enough of the song. And so I said, well, wasn't there a Perry? She looked at me and she went, you mean Perry Como? And I went, yes! And the gentleman went, yes! And we said, that's it, it was Perry Como. And he looked at me and he said, well, now we're going to get a good night's sleep tonight. But here's the other funny part of that story, is when the doctor had called it in, and so we were going straight over to get it. And so I called the pharmacy to say, is it ready? Because we'll just keep going. We'll just go straight in and get it. And the person who answered the phone was, I thought, well, you're kind of grumpy, yes, it's ready, Well, what I realized was, the person I thought was grumpy was the person who helped us figure out the song. I recognized her voice. So isn't it interesting how quickly I was willing to judge her as grumpy when she was a busy pharmacist on a busy day at the Giant? And when she had the opportunity, she was helpful because we asked for her help. And it was fun. So when you see the darkness or that you judge that someone is being cranky, shine your light. Be the shamash. Invite them to be the shamash. We love to be the helper. It makes us feel good. We're wired to help. We're wired to shine the light. I love what Ami said in their piece. We celebrate Hanukkah by small, faith-driven acts of kindness, prayer, and uplifting interactions with friends and family. I would say we can also have uplifting interactions with complete strangers at the Giant Pharmacy. Be the shamash. Spread your light. Let's take that into meditation.
I have faith. I pray faith. I choose faith. I am faith. I have faith. I choose faith. I have faith. I am faith. I have hope. I pray hope. I choose hope. I am hope. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well. I have love. I pray love. I choose love. I am love. You are love. We are love. All God's children are love. When I trust and I let go, I know that all is well. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well.
And so as we enter into this time of meditation, we light the shamash. To remind us of the importance of spreading our light, of being the light, of being the helper. And so let's take a moment to just close our eyes and to go within. To go deep within, where our light always shines. That light that is the truth of our being. That light that is yearning to be shared through our gifts, through our talent, through our love, through our joy. That light that is dedicated to truth and to justice, to honor. That light that asks us to dedicate ourselves to being the light in the world, to not turn away from the darkness, but to shine so brightly that it welcomes us in. And so we open our hearts, we open our minds, we open our eyes and our ears, eager to find opportunities to be that light, to have that unexpected conversation about pericomo, to bring joy and camaraderie and friendship even to a complete stranger. We may say, but sometimes our light feels so small. Sometimes our light doesn't feel like enough. And then we remember the tiny light of the shamash and the power it has, the responsibility it has to light all the other candles. Our light is never too small to shine. And so we remember to see, to look, to find ways to spread our light, dispelling the darkness. Sharing our faith in love, in hope, in goodness.
You are love. We are love. All God's children are love. When I trust and I let go, I know all is well.
Thank you. Oh, so this is the part of our service where we get to be extra grateful for all of your generosity, for the giving of your time and talent and treasure in service to the work of this community. And I just want to extend an extra special thank you to the fellowship folks who are actually already downstairs, and for the extra duty that everyone is the extra work everyone's putting in for this series, and just the amazing meals that are being created. And thank you to all of you who have signed up to bake, to shop, to bring in, and just create these sweet opportunities to fellowship together in the traditions that we are honoring. It's just awesome. So thank you.
With no proof anyone could hear, in our hearts a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. You will when you believe. In this time of fear, where prayer so often proved in vain, hope seemed like the summer birds too swiftly flown away. Yet now I'm standing here, a heart so full I can't explain, seeking faith and speaking words I never thought I'd say. There can be It's hard to kill.
It's hard to kill.
Who knows what miracles you can achieve, when you believe, somehow you will. You will when you believe. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill.
It's hard to kill.
Who knows what miracles you can achieve, when you believe, somehow you will. Now you will. You will when you believe. You will when you believe.
So you know the music's going to be good when you hear them rehearsing that before the service and you're crying before the service even starts. So we had the opportunity yesterday to go down to Lancaster for the Lancaster Symphony Orchestra and hear the Messiah. Wow. We were sitting there and I mean, they did the whole Messiah. This was not the excerpts. And it was long, but as I was sitting there, I just thought, I don't want this to end. It was so exquisite. And that's how I feel about what you just sang. I just didn't want that song to end. That was beautiful.
It's one of my favorite songs.
It
I've been
is-
singing
it
it since
is-
high school, so.
It
yeah.
is gorgeous.
So
It
great.
is just so lovely. So, oh, do we need to do the blessing first? You want to do the okay, okay. So let's stand up. Sorry, I'm all verklempt. Okay, so make sure we include our folks watching us on Facebook and YouTube. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in each and every one of you. Okay, now it's time for a wonderfully short list.
I think we're going to take it up just a little.
Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Holly, Jerry, Lindsay, Roxy, and Jackie. I remember that one. Happy birthday to you and many more. Yeah, I was there for that last one. All right. Let's join us in singing our closing carol. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconcile. Joy Yay, Christmas carols. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And wherever God is, all is well. Happy Hanukkah. Please join us downstairs for our Hanukkah meal. And could we thank our musicians one more time? You guys are just, thank you. Beautifully done. All right, so go on down, take a seat, and then we'll release you to eat.